Hello everyone, Annette here, and I'm excited to show you a fun card project I've been working on. If you are looking for a cute...
What the heck?
My bad. I didn't remove the old things.
We're off to a rough start there. Sorry about that. Can you all hear and see me now?
Yeah.
Mike went and got a handful of pretzels and something weird started playing.
That's because that was one of the videos
I
from Black
know.
Friday.
It was a video from Black Friday.
Because I didn't completely clean up. Fire me. Okay.
Hello. Sorry about that. Mike just said, fire me, I don't care. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's 82 degrees there. It's cold and gloomy here. Ugh, so cold and gloomy. Hello, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Give us a little bit of grace, apparently, because we're just coming back after Black Friday, and that took a little bit of recovery. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, so I've been feeling off with work, just not getting back into it well. So I thought I'd just go live and pull the Band-Aid off. So I have, let's see, a fun kind of technique and a fun kind of fold. And then if there's time, I've got another one after that. Yeah, I'm kind of recovered from Black Friday. I have had a hard time getting back into work after it. Oh, good, Pamela. I'm glad you got I assume that was a prize, probably. I'm glad you got it. Yeah, I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things, and I'm having a hard time with it.
Apparently I am too.
Apparently Mike is too. I don't know if you all were around years ago when there was a card maker named Kathy Rakusin. She's still around. She just doesn't make cards as often. She is a coloring expert. She goes by Kathy Rack on Instagram. And Lila and her best friend and I went to visit Kathy Rack this weekend, and we made beaded snowflakes the whole time. It was wonderful. Now I need to work again. So here I am. Yay. Just before I get started, I wanted to let you know about a few things coming up. I will have a pre-recorded video going up on Friday. And I also just recently put up a pre-recorded video at the end of last week. I will tell you that YouTube, if you watch my live, sometimes YouTube doesn't let you know about my pre-recorded videos. So if you miss that, I would go check out my feed and check out that pre-recorded video, because it was the most fun I had making a video in a while. It was just really fun to do. Yeah, Kathy Rack is the best. She's doing well. She has twin grandsons that she's with all the time. I will also be going live on Friday at 11 a.m. So stay tuned what that's about. It's a little surprise, and I will be sure to let you all know information about that soon. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so thank you. This is an Altenew apron. It actually kind of matched ish, so I thought I'd put it on. So today I am using some new things from Altenew. These were things that caught my eye when they sent me the products a couple months ago, and I just thought I'd share them with you. They have some new cardstock colors, which I am a big fan of their cardstock. There's some unique colors. So I thought I would do an inking technique for colored cardstock, and then also a fun fold, and then we'll get into hopefully another one after that, a die cutting hack. So a little bit of everything today. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, Michelle, I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry you have to go to work. Work's overrated. Okay, so let me tell you a few things. First of all, Brianne Loveland is here. She is my link ninja. She is here to help you find all the things, and also to answer questions that I may have missed. She can find everything very fast, and she's the best. So I will be using some new Altenew. I'm also using some old. I always make sure to incorporate some old somehow because I feel like that's important for all of us to do. You know, if we get new things, also incorporate some things from our stash. So, but they have a special offer for you today. I think Altenew is here. It's probably Mitzi who is in the comments or in the chat for Altenew. There she is. Yes, it's Mitzi. Mitzi, thank you for being here. Mike, can you put up the special offer that we have today? So for just my friends, we have 10% off using the code GenLive5, and that is on orders of $69 or more. But the good news is they also have free US shipping for the same amount or maybe a little bit less. So if you spend $69 or more, you get 10% off and you get free US shipping. There is a discount code for free international shipping. And let me see, hold on. Let me get the link in the chat. Mike, can you pin the live link in the chat? Let me see, actually, I can probably do it. No, okay, got it. I just pinned to the top of the chat a link to the page with the information. So there's 10% off, and then also you get free shipping. There we go, okay. All right, can you come back here, Mike? Yeah, 6-7. You can't say 6-7 around here. I saw some, I think it was In-N-Out Burger, took 67, like their combo meal or whatever, 6-7 off their menu because of all the teenagers getting so excited about 6-7. If you don't have teenagers, you're probably confused, but if you do have teenagers, you're equally confused because 6-7 makes no sense, but it's something cool they all say. And it makes no sense to me. Anyway, so anyways, it's not 6-7, it's 69 today. Okay, Mitzi, Laura Ann 77 has a question about when something will be back in stock if you couldn't answer. No more ticket numbers with 67. Ah, that's it. Yeah, see, it's crazy, the whole 6-7 thing. I guess Simon's here. He probably understands it better than the rest of us. Simon, you're young. What does 6-7 mean? I don't get it. Lila said all of her teachers went as 6-7. So they had a 7 on their shirts and they were pretending they were sick. Lila doesn't say 6-7, but if you say 6-7 around her, she'll giggle. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. Okay, they're cooler than us. That's all I know. Okay, let's get started. I first want to do a fun inking technique with the fun fold. So let's look at, oh, Mike, my Stream Deck doesn't have anything.
Oh, you want overhead?
Yeah, I need my overhead. There we go. The button's not working?
No.
Okay. Some people asked about the new cardstock colors, so it means nothing, pretty much. It's not anything bad. It's just the way it is. So there are some new cardstock colors. I have some of them here, and I can also kind of show you how they're different from what's out there. My two, well, there's 3 favorites. Let's see, 3 or 4. Let's see, hold on. My 4 favorites. Ooh, I'm going to use a few of them today. First of all, we have, this is Misty Sage, which is a beautiful, beautiful, like light green color. It's a little bit, if you have Concord and Ninth Pistachio, it's a bit lighter than it, so it goes well with it. I don't have any colors of cardstock that are similar to this. I checked that out beforehand. So this is Misty Sage. It also looks really nice with Altenew Moss. You can see those 2 shades there. But it's a very unique, like light pistachio color. Yeah, it goes really well with moss. All right, so that's Misty Sage. So that's one of my favorites. Another favorite of mine is called Pink Sand, but that's a little misleading. It's like a bit of a greener off-white. A little bit. I don't know. Let's see. So, you look at some. It's a little bit more of a not as yellow off-white, and I'll be using that later. Pink Sand is a little misleading. It's not pink. but it goes with their cards or their ink that matches. Yeah, it is nonsensical. That's the story behind it. Then we have, so this is the pink sand here. So you can see it goes lovely with greens, but it also goes lovely with pinks. It's just it's a nice neutral, soft neutral. Then I also love Sandy Blush. This is a very beautiful kind of dusty rose, very light dusty rose. You can see it's not as pink as other pinks. It probably would really go nice with, hold on, because I want to know this too. Probably guessing it would go nice with Briar Rose. No, doesn't, no. It's more of like a, ooh, it goes nice with Concord and Ninth Ballet Slipper. But it's a very dusty rose, and it's beautiful. It goes well with maroon colors, like Altenew Velvet. It's beautiful. Sandy Blush is beautiful. I probably will be using that today. But my favorite is the Glacier Iris. This is a bluish purple. In comparison, like this, here are typical like lilac colors. This is soft lilac and lavender feels from Altenew. Most lilac colors out there are more of a pinkish purple. This is more of a bluish purple. It's just gorgeous. Let me show you. I don't have lilac in here. Why don't I not have lilac in here? But you can see most purples out there are more of a pinkish purple. This is a nice bluish purple, and I'm going to be using that color today because I love it. So that's Glacier Iris. There are some others. These are also beautiful if you are looking for greens all the time like I do. We have Sage Stone and where did the other one go? Sage Stone. Oh, here it is. Sage Stone is the lighter and Olive Grove is the darker. These are really beautiful and they go nicely with that Altenew Moss. So you could do like a light, medium, dark. So these are really pretty too. So that Sage Stone is the lighter, Olive Grove is the darker. Well, it's not that dark, it's like a medium. Then we have a nice neutral here. Wait, I got a mix. Hold on. Here we go. This is Peachy Glow. So to show you, Peachy Glow is the perfect ivory. This is the pink sand I showed you earlier. So see how this is like a little bit more brown? And Peachy Glow is like the perfect ivory without being too pink. Yes, they do have color codes to match. Codes can only be used once. If you go to my live page, it explains it all. Here's Scattered Shell, which is a nice, like a very light yellow, and you can see how it goes nicely with the Peachy Glow. So if you're looking for like a light yellow, which I always am because, you know, if you do like a light color flower, these three go really well together. This is Peachy Glow, Shattered Shell, and then a bit darker would be Vanilla Cream. Those three are beautiful. So if you want the look of like a really light yellow or white kind of flower, these are good options. And then Industrial Diamond is like the perfect dark gray. It's like the perfect dark gray there. And then two kind of orange colors, you have Lemonade Stand and Amber Blaze. So Lemonade Stand and Amber Blaze. So those are the new cardstock colors. I just wanted to show you those briefly. I'll be using some of them today, and you'll see them with other colors from Altenew. And here's the thing. You want to mix and match. Like I showed you some Concord and Ninth because you want to mix and match your cardstocks together. You don't want to stick to one brand because that really limits you. Somebody said, oh, somebody asked, are they all the same weight? They're all 80 or 90 pounds depending on the color. You got to remember that because these are small businesses, most of the time they don't get their own cardstocks made. They choose the cardstocks that match their inks the best because they can't afford to go get tons and tons of colors of cardstock made because our industry isn't big enough. But it really just depends on the colors. Some of them are custom, but some of them aren't. So they're either 80 or 90 pounds. Somebody asked about how Industrial Diamond compared. Industrial Diamond is kind of in between Cobblestone from Concord and Ninth and Mushroom from Concord and Ninth. So if you want 3 shades, actually if you want 4 shades, these are really nice together. Concord and Ninth Pebble, Concord and Ninth Cobblestone, Altenew Diamond, or Industrial Diamond, and Concord and Ninth Mushroom. Beautiful grays. Beautiful grays. All right. Hi, Erica. What is that in GSM? I don't know. I don't think it says what it is. But here's the thing. With cardstocks like this, what I would do, if I wanted to make a card base out of this, then I would put a cardstock insert on the inside to give it some strength. But I love their cardstocks. Room for your shelves for more. Do I have room on my shelves for more cardstock? Not really. I just bought a bunch of Tailored Expressions new cardstock colors too. Yeah. That means I just need to make more. I'm a paper hoarder too. Okay, so let's look at some of the things that I want to use today. Before I show you what I want to use, I want to show you some other things that are new because they're related to things I used in the past. If you were in my Black Friday live where I used Altenew, I showed you the piped floral lace 3D embossing folder, and we did some fun techniques with it in class or in the live. They now have released this to everyone as part of this release. So if you go on their website and looked at the piped floral lace 3D embossing folder, you're going to see more examples than what I did. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that. I'm not going to use this folder today because I used it on Black Friday. You can always go back and watch my Black Friday live to see how I made these. And that would have been on the Friday. So this was part of their release. They let me release it a little bit early on Black Friday, but now it's available. And it's one of the most beautiful detailed embossing folders. I mean, you can see the detail in these. All right, one of my favorites from the year from them. If you like keyhole dies, and I've talked a lot about keyhole dies in past videos. Keyhole dies are the layering, yeah, the Lily of the Valley is beautiful. If you, the keyhole dies are their layering die cut system. So the die cuts like a little, let's look at it with this one. The dies cut a little hole in the middle that's a shape, like a keyhole shape or an arrow or something. And what you need to do is every time you die cut them all from different colors, and then every time all you have to do is line up the little hole that the die cut has in it, and it's lined up easily. I'm going to be doing a little bit of keyhole later, but I wanted to give you a heads up that there are 2 great layering sets with the keyhole. This one is the, how do you say that? Narcissus? They look kind of like little daffodils. Narcissus? I don't know. But this is a great, beautiful, large layering die set. Let me show you. Oh, Erica, thank you. Okay, so you can see this is really big. There's the length of the stem on it. So it's, I mean, this is going to end up being bigger than an A2 card if you want it to be. You can just cut it shorter if you want to. Or if you're a 5x7 card maker, this would be a good option for you too. But I decided not to use this today because I have something else I was going to use. And then this large bird here, I mean, we're talking it's huge. But the cool thing is those little keyholes allow you to layer that up with all that detail. Isn't that cool? And this one, you can cut like the little bump off the head to make it look like a different type of bird and do different colors. And there are a lot of beautiful examples on the website. This is called the Feathered Beauty. I could almost use that bird, almost used it. Then what I will use today is called Hellebore Haven. I think that's how you say it. You think I'd be better at this stuff. Oops, I have a mix up here. Let me make sure I have all the right things. So let me go. All of this is linked in the YouTube description below, but you can also go to the page that's pinned at the top of the chat, and there'll be links for everything. Narcissus. There we go, Narcissus. Okay. Narcissist. Yeah, narcissist. It sounds like narcissist. Okay, so with this bundle, this is the Hellebore Haven. with this bundle, you get a mini blending brush, which you always want more of these because they're my favorite. You get a die set. Hold on, I gotta find it. Here it is. No, that's not it. You get, oh, here, it's stuck to the back of this. So in this bundle, you get a blending brush. You get this stamp set with this beautiful outline image and lots of sentiments like you are simply beautiful, you are resilient and radiant. In quiet ways, you shine. With deepest appreciation, you make the world brighter. A lot of great sentiments. Then there's a coordinating stencil set that colors in those flowers. Then there is an embossing folder, a 3D embossing folder that lines up with the stencils. Who's here? Oh, Mike went upstairs. The embossing folder also lines up with the stamping, so you can mix and match those. Then there's also a die. So you can die cut the stamp floral image, die cut the stenciled image, die cut the 3D image, mix it up. And then in the die set, it also has the word friend with a shadow die. So all of that is included in the Hellebore Haven Build a Garden bundle. And this is what I plan to use today. I like that font too. I really like that friend. I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to use this for the first card, but I'm also going to incorporate some older things with it. Yeah, we're all recovering from Black Friday in one way or another, aren't we? Little bit insane. All right. Now you're going to have to bear with me because I have an idea and you're all here to see if it works. Okay. So I, off screen, die cut 2 different florals here. And I'm going to do both, and then you can tell me which we end up using on a card. So this is the Sandy Blush and Glacier Iris colors. These are the new ones, okay? These are 2 new colors, and I thought I'd do both so that you could choose what I use. I have a feeling I know what you'll all pick because I know how you all vote normally. So I used the die from the Hellebore Haven die set, and I cut it from Glacier Iris and Sandy Blush. And I have the embossing folder. And what I'll do here is tape it into the embossing folder, lining it up with the pattern. Okay, so it's not hard to do. Is somebody here, Mike? Sounds like somebody's here upstairs. No?
It's about time, but
it's a little early. Okay, so I am just lining it up and taping it on the inside. You don't have to tape it if you think you can not let it shift when you close it, but see how I taped it up to line up with the impression on the die cut machine, or on the embossing folder. Now, this is a regular 3D embossing folder, so whatever die cut machine you have, you just use the use your die cut machine as it says to with the 3D embossing folder. It's a normal thickness. With my Empress, I found that I like to use a clear cutting plate, the magnetic plate, the embossing folder, and a magnetic or the metal shim. And that seems to work. And I just printed that on a little label and stuck it to my die cut machine so I don't have to remember that. Mike, can you scroll back a little bit? Somebody said something. Somebody asked something before that. Keep going. Oh, does the bundle include the embossing folder? Okay. So there is a bundle without the embossing folder, and there is a bundle with the embossing folder. So you get to choose which bundle you prefer. Okay, so it's totally up to you. So you can get it with or without the embossing folder, but I'm using the embossing folder today. There are a lot of Altenew bundles that are, you could do this with, where they have an embossing folder, a die, a stamp set, and all the things that coordinate. But I chose this one because I really like the look of it. And keep in mind, I am not using the stamp set. You can see all the detail the stamp set includes. I'm not using that today. Brand's threatening to play dirty if we don't choose purple. Okay, So here are the two die cuts. And I'm going to let you vote. Mike, can you do a poll?
Yep.
So there's going to be a poll at the top of the chat in a moment. Should I do the Sandy Blush, which is this like like a neutral mauve color, or Glacier Iris, which is like a purpley color? I'm trying to see what colors would go. Ah, this is the color I was thinking of. Does that go? Yeah, look how pretty these two are. Those two. So this is Sandy Blush from Altenew. This is Pencil Eraser from Lawn Fawn, and those two go really well together. That's the color I was thinking of. But it's really pretty. It's a very unique color. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have anything else quite like it. No, it's a little more gray and brown than others. All right, so there is a poll at the top of the chat, and you can vote which color you want me to use, and I have a feeling I'm going to know. Yeah, I figured it. All you here's the thing. Purple people this is not like a dirty looking color. I promise. It's a beautiful color in real life. It must be coming off a little bit too brown on screen. It's just beautiful. And it would actually make a good skin tone too. Okay, I knew, because purple people are loud and strong. So we're going with purple. I know, I like both too, but I'm going with purple today. Okay, now off screen I did do something. Okay, so I did the exact same thing that I just showed you, but I also took the Stencil 3, which lines, no, liar, I'm lying, Stencil 4. Yeah, Stencil 4. Stencil 4 does the leaves and like the center of the flowers, okay? I off screen line that up with my die cut that has the embossing on it, and I put some white pigment ink over it. So I used Cloud White. Where'd it go? Here it is. Altenew Cloud White. It's a white pigment ink. And off screen, I just used a blending brush to pounce some white ink onto it. I wanted that to dry. Okay. So I did that off screen. So if you see here, see how there is some white pigment ink on all the areas that would be leaves? That's because I want to put green over it. And if you put green on purple cardstock, it would be fine, but it's going to look more green if you put the white down first. Okay, so all I did was over the stencil that does the leaves, I put some white pigment ink down, and I just gave it some time to dry. If you wanted to do this without giving it time to dry, just heat set it first. That's it. And I just try to avoid heat setting as much as possible in my lives because it's loud and annoying. Okay. Ooh. So I have my die cut here. I do recommend die cutting first if you want to die cut, then use an embossing folder, then use the stencils. Oh, which company for Roy G. Biv is best cardstock and ink pads as far as bang for your buck? I'm telling you, that is hard to say. Honestly, if you want like true classic Roy G. Biv, I would recommend, with matching inks, I would recommend Gina K. She's got like the classic colors. Then when you want to grow, Altenew has a huge amount of colors and you can kind of fill in the gaps. Can you scroll it, Mike? Okay, so this is stencil number 1. All right, I have my Altenew Fresh Dye Inks. I gotta get my ink stand out. I have my black inkstand. Brienne, who is our Link Ninja, is the creator of these. And I have my Altenew mini blending brush. Remember, this bundle that I'm using comes with one of these, okay? So on this one, I think I'll do the hydrangea color around like the base of these petals. But then I'm gonna fade it out to that light purple color that the cardstock is. The cardstock's called Glacier Iris. So you could do this with any color of cardstock that you want. The advantage of, I'm starting with a light purple cardstock and I'm putting light purple ink on top of it. So this will blend nicely. If you were starting with light purple cardstock and maybe wanted to do like a yellow flower on it, put that white ink down first as a base. So there I did some light purple, but then these petals I want to be the lightest, okay? The petals I'm doing now, I want to be the lightest. BJ Thompson said, I love your blending. Here's the thing about my blending. I spend very little time blending. There are some people who are masters at it. I don't spend a whole lot of time at it because I find that once you put your card together, you don't need, and your ink's dry, you don't need to spend a lot of time on blending. Blending can be very forgiving, especially if you're using good blending brushes like the ones I'm using today. So I did the hydrangea color at like the base of the petals, and then I came in with some cloud white at the tips of the petals. So see, at the base of the petals is the purple, at the tips is the white. Now before I remove this, I'm just gonna kind of buff some of that excess ink off the cardstock, just so that it's not super white. Yeah, it is a nice color combo. Okay, so can you see how the petals are white, just a little white at the tips and darker purple at the center? I am using, these are Altenew blending brushes. These were on my crafty gift guide. This size is the mini brush. That's the small blending brush that I use the most. And this is the micro blending brush. And I have one that I use for white pigment ink. Usually I use Tim Holtz blending tools that have the foam applicator for my white pigment ink, but sometimes I'll reach for a blending brush, but you have to keep it designated to that brush. You don't want to switch between the white pigment ink and a colored dye ink. That would be really bad. Okay, so I'm lining up stencil number 2. These I want to be a bit darker. So I will use hydrangea over the petals, kind of over the whole thing, but I'm trying to go darker at the base of those petals. But honestly, I'm not too careful. Like, I think that's the base of the petal. May not be. I could look at the picture, but I'm lazy. So I'm doing the hydrangea over all of the petal, but lighter towards the tip. And I kept these little, what do I call those? Tiny little doodads. They're these little, like little sprigs that come out. I'll call them baby's breath for this, okay? It's not, but that's what I'm gonna call them. So the baby's breath I'm leaving right now. But then I want a little more depth at the base of these petals. So I'll come in with ultraviolet, which is very intense. Let me show you what ultraviolet is. There's ultraviolet. It's very intense and it's beautiful. And I'll just put a little bit of that right at the base of those petals. Normally, I wouldn't put this much effort into blended flowers, but since we started with the purple cardstock, I feel like I need to add that. Okay, so now I'm gonna wipe off some of that purple because for these little, what I'm calling baby's breath, I'm putting some white pigment ink on those. Again, normally I use a foam blending tool and I pounce the white ink, but I also have this brush designated because it's tiny. And you can see I put a white dot on the top, so I know. All right, so we're getting there. We're building up the color. Just wait. It'll come alive in a moment. Okay. Next. Let's do stencil number 3. Now this one, I'm choosing to make the darkest of them all. I don't know why. I didn't really, there are, I should say there, there are instructions with these things, but I'm lazy. I don't want to think too much about what, how much, where to put what color. You can, by all means. Like if you follow JC Gaspar, who's one of my favorite card makers, he really puts a lot of thought into blending and the shading and where dark and light colors go, but I don't do that. He's good at it, I'm not. Brianne said, formal request to rename Ultraviolet the Brianne Link Ninja Loveland. Mike, do we have a label maker?
Yeah, somewhere.
Can you relabel this the Brianne Link Ninja Loveland? Okay, thank you. Okay, so see how that dark really makes it pop? Then the last one is the one with the leaves. And remember, that's the one where I've already put white pigment ink down and I let it dry later, okay? Or over time, just let it dry a little bit. I wanna put some green over this. I don't know what color greens I wanna do. Let's look. I wanna do something kind of bright because I think that contrast is fun. Let's do bamboo first. Bamboo, let me show you what it looks like. Bamboo is like a bright lime color. Yeah, I wish I could name inks. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, bamboo. So I'll put bamboo over the leaves to give it kind of, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to keep that like baby's breath look white. This is leaves here, but I didn't. So I will go back over that. All right, let's see. Are they here?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I think they just got here.
Okay. So I'm putting that lime green over the leaves, and some of the areas are centers of the flowers. I'm not really sure what color I want to do. Let me look at the packaging. For the center of the flowers, I think I want to leave them kind of white, I think. But I did bamboo first over all of the leaves. Then I will come in with, let's do grass field and see how that looks. This is grass field. This is a beautiful, like, middle of their own green. Okay, so this I'll put like at the base of those petals, or those leaves. Yeah. All right, so.
It's a long name, though.
Yeah, it is. So that, I don't think that's dark enough. I'm gonna also come in with hunter green, which is a bit darker. I'll grab my smaller micro brush so I can get into those little nooks. I can just put some darker at the base. Whoa, that's a lot darker. Woo, covered up that grass colored really quickly, didn't I? So let's see. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so there are the leaves, but the center of the flowers, I think I want to leave those white. I think so. And then I will go back to this because I accidentally turned some of my little baby's breath stuffy wuffy. I turned them green and I don't want them green. This is where Jennifer goes overboard. No, 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 no. That's not what I want. Hold on, let me clean off the stencil. Here we go. This one right here, I want those white. Right here. There we go. Okay, so I think this is what I have. Look how pretty that is. So see how the green shows up nice green on the purple cardstock. Remember, I'm on purple cardstock. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you could do white flowers for sure. Actually, the center of those flowers, I think I want those like a gold color. See, Jennifer overthinks everything. Hang on. Let me clean this. I have rubbing alcohol in my spray bottle that I use only to clean my stencils. Sometimes I'll clean my glass work surface, but I never clean my stamps with rubbing alcohol. It will damage your stamps over time. So I have two spray bottles like this from Spellbinders. One has rubbing alcohol and one has water. But this one's rubbing alcohol to clean my stencils very quickly. If you've never cleaned your stencils with rubbing alcohol, I encourage you to give it a try. Okay, it will blow your mind. All right, so here's stencil 4 again. I think I'll do the center of those flowers like a gold. Because why not? You put some of my brushes away here. Let's do gold. I think I'll do Lisa Horton gold metallic if I can find it. Here it is. So in my YouTube description, I have Lisa Horton limited edition metallics. There's a gold, silver, and copper that come together, and that's what I'm using here. And I have a brush just for this. You could use a foam applicator, and I'm just kind of pouncing that at the center of the flowers. So we have just a little bit of gold on there. I'm also seeing some places where I messed up because I'm crazy. Then there's a little bit of green that needs to go right there. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, I like that gold at the center of the flowers. See? I probably could do a little gold at the tips of our little baby's breath looking stuff, but I'm going with it. I could spend days, well, not really. I could spend a lot of time going messing with those, but I'm trying to limit myself. Okay, let me clean that. They have gold centers. Oh, good to know. Yeah, I don't really, sometimes I'll look online to see how a particular flower is supposed to be colored, but generally I don't. I'm in my own little magical world. Hi. Hi. Hold on. I need to hug my children. Hi, Colin. Were you surprised?
Yeah.
Good.
They're hug.
Oh, group hug. Okay. Oh. Love you both. What are you going to do? Okay. Good. Show them the elephant you're making.
It's all the way upstairs.
Okay. All the way upstairs. It's far away. All right. So here is the die cut. I got to figure out how I want to put this into a card. I have a card idea, but I'm not sure what I'm going to start with. Let's do the card base from...
Do you emboss it first?
I die cut the flower first, then did the embossing folder, then did the inking. That's the order that I feel works the best. I will add a little bit of white detail to the center of that flower when we're done. All right, I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. We'll start with white cardstock. So I have a piece of heavyweight white cardstock. That is 5.5 by 8.5 inches. 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And I gotta figure this out. Hold on. I did like a little bit of thinking before. And a little bit, not too much. Okay. Let's see here. Got a scoreboard. This is my Altenew scoreboard. I will do a few folds in this. Just bear with me and you'll see how this goes together. So it's 8.5 inches by 5.5. I'm doing a score line at 3 inches. Then the next one will be at, hold on, I gotta think here, sorry. I usually have this stuff prepared. Okay, so that's at 3 inches. And then watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fold that over. And then I know that I want my card to be 4.25 inches. So I put this nook here and, no, I did it wrong. Hang on. Hold, please. I messed up. See, I told you I'd mess up today because it's been a bit for me. Okay, so I have a piece of cardstock here that I'm cutting to 5.5 by 11. 5.5 by 11. All right, 11 inches, 5.5. The first score line will go at 3. Okay, so at 3 inches. Then I will fold that and put that fold right into the corner there. I want my card to be 4.25 inches wide. So I'll score at 4.25 inches wide. okay? Now, so this is 0, 4 1/4, there's a score line there. I want to do some score lines between this one and the 4 1/4. So I will do one at 1 1/2 inches. Actually, let me do this. Let me fold that in. So I have a score line at 3, and then it ends up being 7 1/4. So at 3 and then 4 1/4 inches after that. Okay, so you got this fold here. Now I want to do some score lines 1 1/2 inches in from this and 1 1/2 inches in from this. So I'll put this corner in here and I'll score it 1 1/2. Let me come back down here, 1 1/2. So that corner's in there, score it 1 1/2, and then rotate it. Put that folded edge there again and score it at 1 1/2. I'm going to show you what I have here. Let me fold them and you'll see. So this is what I have. It looks like this. This is at 3 inches, 4 1/2 inches. Let's see, 3 inches, 4 1/2. This is at 6, and then at 7 1/2. So there's what we have. I know it's funny looking, but we're going to do a really fun fold. So let me just mark those down so you guys can. Trying to find my long ruler. Where'd it go? Hold on. Maybe it's over here. Ah, here it is. Okay, I've got my T-ruler. So this is 11 inches by 5 1/2. We have a score line at 3, a score line at 4 1/2, actually it's a score line at 4 1/2, yep. Score line, let me write these down because I'm messing y'all up. I will write it down on here. So it is 5 1/2, so you can take a screenshot when we're done. 5 1/2 by 11, and we have score lines at 3 inches, 4 1/2 inches, 5 3/4 inches, and 7 1/4 inches. So we have these score lines here. Sorry about that. Okay, 5 1/2 by 11 and these score lines. So this is going to be a fun kind of pop-up-ish card on the inside. Just bear with me and you'll see. Now, the card is going to close like this, and I want this to be a little bit smaller, and I want it to be the shape of my flower, because in the end, when you close it, I want this flap, this right-hand flap, to be this shape. Okay? So just bear with me. I don't know what these nails are from Empress. There's a link in the bio below, or in the YouTube description below. So I'm thinking, I want it to be like that. I want it to, so that this is solid over here and this is shaped. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put tape here and tape here. Okay, so it's on that right flap, and I'll open up my card. Come on, tape, stay still. And we'll do some partial die cutting. You can do this with any die cut machine you have. The key is whatever you want to cut goes under the plates. Whatever you do not want to cut goes outside of the plates. No, this should work. This will work. I promise it'll work. At least I think it will. Okay, so I want this edge here to cut. So I am putting the top cutting plate over that, but not all this. Okay, so anything hanging out won't cut. So let me run this through. Okay, so see how it cut only half. So now I can take my scissors and just cut, drink, that whole flap off. Swink. There's a little bit in here, I'll just cut. There we go. So now we have this shaped flap that comes over. See? Ignore these score lines in the middle. You'll see why in a moment. Okay? And this will get glued onto here and trimmed off. Okay? But first, I gotta cut. There's like a little bit right here that didn't cut, so I'll just cut it with my scissors. And then pop these little bits out. So I did partial die cutting on that right hand edge. And this is something that you can do with any like large die. Altenew has a lot of large florals that work for this. And keep in mind, you can do it this way. So the partial die cut edge is on this side, but I'm doing it on this side. Now I want this flap to also be purple. See, I want that to be glued on there, but I want the background to be purple too. So I will cut a piece of that Glacier Iris cardstock to be as wide as this like little bit of flap here, which is about, it's about 1 1/4 inches. So I will cut that. I'm just putting a little mark and I'll cut that. And I might add some interest to this. I'm not sure yet. So this will go onto this flap like that. And then this will go on top of it. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to add any interest to that because not much is showing. Yeah, I always make sound effects. That's what I do. So let's glue that down. Okay, so onto this flap, I'll put some strong adhesive and add that little strip onto it. My strip is a bit long. I'll trim it off when I'm done. So see how that's on that flap? Yeah, partial die cutting is one of the best ways to really step up your card. Then over that, I'll glue this die cut. So let's just put glue on the back of this. Because there's texture on this, I'm putting quite a bit of glue. It's not big globs of glue, but instead it is in a lot of areas because I want to make sure that it connects with that texture. Okay, so watch. Oh, I need to pop that piece out. Okay, so I'll put this on. There's one more piece to pop out. All right, so that's glued on there, and now I'll put something heavy on that while it dries. Oop, don't move. Nobody told you to move. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that to dry for a moment. Now I want something on this flap, and that's 3 by 5.5. I like it white, but I thought I would add a 3D embossing folder here. This is the Raised Sentiments 3D embossing folder. There is one version of these on sale. I noticed it was on sale, so I thought I'd mention. The Thank You 3D embossing folder is on sale. So I have the Raised Sentiments here, which just has a bunch of random sentiments. My favorite one is the Ways to Thank You 3D embossing folder. It's on sale, but I can't find mine. It's in the Black Friday madness that I have yet to clean up, but it gives you a similar look. So I would recommend using the Ways to Thank You 3D embossing folder for this. I will take a piece of white cardstock and put it into this. There are so many techniques that you could do here. You could ink up the inside of the embossing folder. I've done so many videos showing things you can do with these sentiment embossing folders. You can ink up the inside of the embossing folder. You can ink it up when you're done. I'm just going to do plain white cardstock just to add some interest to the background of this card. Let's see. It's shifted a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so I'll just trim this a little bit off. So see how this flap is now purple? So when it comes over, I love that look there. Isn't that neat? Yeah, Altenew really does a good job coming out with innovative stuff. And again, if you have not seen my videos using the Raised Sentiments 3D embossing folder or the Ways to Thank You 3D embossing folder, I encourage you to do so. Look at the detail in that. So you could rub an ink pad over this and your sentiments would become bold. You can cut out each of the different sentiments you want, but I'm just using it as a textured background for this flap of the card. So I will cut this to, that's 3 inches. I'm going to make sure it's 3 inches. Yep. Cut it to 3 inches. I'll cut it a little bit big and then trim off the excess. Okay. So now here, put liquid adhesive, something strong. You could use double-sided adhesive sheet here, whatever you prefer. And I will put that onto it. So now that flap, I'll trim off the excess, but now that flap has some interest to it. So we have interest on this flap, and then this flap over on the right is purple. Put some adhesive back here because I didn't go all the way to the edge. All right, there we go. Sentiment. We have some choices for the sentiment on this card, and then you'll see how the inside works. Sentiments. I could do the friend that is part of the Hellebore Haven die set or bundle, but I thought I'd pull a few other ones and we can choose. One option is the Arched Foliage. This is a collection, a bundle. There is a stamp set. I've used this before. There's a die set. There is a stencil set, and there's an embossing folder also. Where is it? Here it is, in an embossing folder. So they all coordinate well together. But what I loved most, I mean, the detail in that embossing folder is beautiful. That would have been beautiful in the background of this. But what I really liked were these sentiments in it. I mentioned on Black Friday, I think, that one of the things I like most about Altenew's stamp sets is that the sentiments are like an afterthought. They're not just the same fonts that they always use. They have a good variety. And I thought these would be good for masculine or feminine cards, any occasions. I really like the style of those. So I did a few of those. I might choose that. But another bundle, this is an older one that I've used many times because I like the sentiments, and it's on sale. Let me see what it's on sale for. This is the Sweet Bouquet. This is 35% off right now. So it's an older one. It has hello friend, you're awesome, happy birthday, and lots of little sentiments, including some cursive, some block, and then some that are reverse. There are stencils that coordinate with it, but just to show you, this is the beautiful flower that you can get. And the stencils color the flower and then this background pattern. So I've shown this one many times, but I am just showing it today because I like that hello friend and the you're awesome as options for these cards. And I noticed it's on sale. Okay, so I have those stamped. I have them in a random container from Target because my craft stacks are all still filled from Black Friday. But I just haven't finished. Let me flip this over. I'm going to trim off the excess here. There's our card base. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Okay, I'll show you the inside in a moment. But I need a sentiment on here. Let me get a magnet to just keep this closed right now. So I want a sentiment right here. So it's either just a note or thank you. And it needs, for the technique I'm doing, it has to overlap with this flap here. So I think thank you might be too small because it's too far to the right. I want it more to the left. They're so blessed. Oh, I really like those. Those are from the Arched Foliage. Then from the Sweet Bouquet, let me see, there's You're Awesome and Hello Friend. I think I like So Blessed. I think I like that. Maybe not. Jennifer's going to overthink. Just give her a second. Maybe. Oh, there's a Hugs too, but that's a little too small. You're Awesome might work. Let me think. You know what I think I would like is So Blessed stacked. Let's see. So I'm going to cut these apart. So I'll do Blessed by itself and then So right above it. Yeah, that's what I want, like that. That's what I want. So I need I did some die cuts to stack with that. So there's some die cuts to stack. I can save all of these if I have time for my next card. Yeah, I like the So Blessed a lot. I mean, I love the style of the others, but I think with this particular card design, I think I want to do this. So I'll put So here. And then let's do the other one on top of it. So I'm stacking these so they have some added dimension. I want these to be strong, and you'll see why in a moment. Oh, come along now. Okay. So what I did here with purple, if you're not a purple fan, which I know some of you exist, you can change this to whatever colors you want. So now we have Blessed. How do you do this? How do I do what? Did I do something? Did I do something bad? What did I do? I just saw, how do you do this? Okay, so here's Blessed, and then I will cut off that extra. There we go. So now we have So Blessed. Okay? I think I'm going to set that aside, and we need to do the inside. Now, you could decorate this inside in so many different ways. Hold on, I need to cut this off. Remember, I made my piece a little bit big for the front of that flap. I'm going to trim that off. Okay, so there we go. So this flap is about 3 inches, and this one from end to end is almost 3 inches too. But you can see how this flap covers up the edge of this one. So there we go. Okay. Now, let's do the inside next. In the inside, I need a mini note card. Now you could do, if you had time, let me see if I could do it. I thought I did one. Hold on. Just a moment. I did a quick one to test it. So I could do another and like glue this kind of on the inside. So when you open it up, it's over here to match the outside. That's one option, but I need a note card to go in here. So I have pre-cut lots of top folding white note cards that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to take one and make it smaller. So top folding 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And I will trim this down. I think I'll go with, instead of 4 1/4, I'll do 3 3/4 inches. Instead of 5 1/2, I'll do 5 inches. So I'm cutting a 1/2 inch off the sides and off the side and off the bottom. So we have this, like, it's a little bit smaller than an A2 card, 1/2 inch smaller on each side. But I want that glacier color. So let me get a piece. And this I'll cut slightly smaller. So this was 3 3/4 inches wide. So I'll go a little bit smaller than that. A little bit smaller than 3 3/4 inches. And this is 5 inches. So I'll go a little bit smaller than 5 inches. And that will give me a nice panel to put right at the center of our note card. And I feel like I need to zhuzh that up a bit. So this is what I have on the outside. I think, like, I could put another flower on that and trim it off so the inside has it. But I think I'm going to save time and just do the raised sentiments embossing folder on it. Again, I would use the ways to say thank you instead, but I can't find mine. So this is the Glacier Iris. Let me run that through my die cut machine. Yeah, this is this is like, this Glacier Iris is the purple for people who don't love purple because it's like a bluish purple. Does that make sense? All right, let me, okay. So let's see. Look at this. Look how pretty that is. You know what I could do? I'm going to try something. I don't think I'm going to like it in the end, but I'm going to try it. I think I will. This is the Glacier Iris color. Okay, so the color matches the cardstock. I think I'm going to just rub this lightly over the raised letters so they stand out a bit, okay? I haven't tried this, so this may flop. Just bear with me. So see how now they stand out a bit? Wait, can you scroll back a little bit? Somebody said hard season. Okay, hold on. Yeah, there it is. See at the top? Can you scroll it down just a little bit? Gail, I feel you. I feel you. Hang in there, okay? Gail, please hang in there. So I just did ink over the raised letters. Now I'm going to try something. This could fail miserably because that happens. I think I'm going to double emboss. This is something I learned from Gina K. So I did this embossing folder and I rubbed ink over the raised. Now I think I'm going to put it in here into the Hellebore Haven embossing folder and run it through again. Let's see. Yeah, purple, people are very, very loud about their love or hate of purple. I don't find that with orange. I feel like people either don't care about orange or they don't like it. But purple, either you love it or you don't, and I don't get that. Okay, so look at what I did. Now, when I ran it through the floral embossing folder, I did flatten the words a bit, but because I rubbed the ink over it, it still stands out. Even if I didn't rub the ink over it, you still would be able to see it. And I thought that would be nice to put on the inside. But you could stencil over that if you wanted to. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Now, where did I put my note card? Oh, come on, here it is. So let's put this on here. This is our 3 3/4 by 5-inch note card. And then on top of that is our panel that's slightly smaller. Something heavy on that. Now I want a sentiment on here too. So on the outside, I have "So blessed." I could do, hugs. I think I'll do the hugs. So again, you could zhuzh up that note card on the inside some more, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to keep it as is. You'll see why I'm putting a note card on the inside in just a moment. So I have the hugs. I think I'll put this right at the top center, like that. So you'll see why I'm doing a note card inside of a note card. Okay, so there is the card. Let me flatten that a bit. Wasn't there a group of older ladies who would be the purple hat ladies or red hat? I don't know how that works. I thought they had purple in their name. So blessed is going to be my hook that keeps this card closed. So let's get some foam tape. Did I say zhuzh? You know who I got that from? I think I got that from Christopher Allen. I think that's who I got it from. Okay, so look at this, "So blessed." It's going to go right there. So this, the E and D are going to overlap with my flowers. Hold on, I gotta pop that out. That shouldn't be there. Go away. There we go. So I only need to put foam tape behind the word bless, not the ED. I'll show you. So see, there's blessed. And on the back, I only put it over the first part of the word. Now, I'm going to place this down so that the E and D overlaps with this flap. Like that. So now see how it tucks under? Like that. And so the card will close because it's hooked under there. Right? And then they just open it. You can see where it opens easily. Okay, so I'll put that down. Now sew. Can't forget the rest of it. Actually, you could just do blessed. But this is what Red Hat Society. When I'm old, I shall wear purple. So they wore red hats but purple clothes? Is that right? I'm getting to that age. I need to know these things. So I think I like the sew kind of offset like that. And then I think I'll need some gems in the end. Okay, so see how the flap tucks under the word, but you can open it and open up the inside. Now on the inside, remember I have these 2 score lines. These 2 score lines are in the back of the card. Creates that little oomph there. I will put liquid adhesive just between those 2 score lines. So there's the 2 score lines. Put liquid adhesive between the 2 score lines and then lay my card centered on the inside. The reason I put this mini card inside of the card is it's going to kind of fold out a bit. And if the card stands on display, you won't see the personal message. You'll see the card on the inside instead. Bear with me. Let me find some gemstones to match. Purple. Jennifer's overthinking. Are we surprised by this? Nope. I want purple, but I'm not loving the purple shades I have because it's like a purplish blue color. Maybe these. Let's see. These are older. They're called This Calls for Confetti Purple Hydrangea. Let's see if that matches. That's good, but I could do better. I think I need a dark purple. Let's try this. These are called Trinity Stamps Space Walk. They may be old. I'm going with it. I just need to go with it. So this gets tucked under there. No, I don't like it. I don't like it, Mike. Too dark. Okay. I'm going to go for gold. Let's see how these work. These are Pink Fresh, clear with gold dust. Let's see how these work. I should be doing this into a container so I don't have to clean them up. All right, let's see. I think these might be nice. I think I'm going to go with these. These are Pink Fresh. No. See, this, people, this is what I do. I want bigger. There's no really big ones in here. This is what I do. Mike, is he a purple guy? Yeah, We Do Not Care Club. That's more my jam. That, if you haven't found that on social media, it's fantastic. I'm struggling. Let's try this. Last try. These are Pink Fresh Amethyst. Okay, I'm gonna like these. So let's do some gems on here. I think I'll do a big one here, and then a medium one there. Yeah, this will be good. Boop. I booped, like Kathy. Oh, they're hungry up there, aren't they? Big and a medium. Yeah, I think I like that. And then a small one down here. Iridescent would be nice too. These are the amethyst glitter from Pink Fresh, our friends at Pink Fresh. Gold would be nice too because I did golds at the center of the flower, but here we are. I mean, you can change it up to be whatever you want. So there we go. That, then maybe one here and one there. Okay. Mike, are there questions? Okay. There. It's kind of pretty. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let me put those away. Are the things in bundles available separately? Sometimes at Altenew. These are available in the bundle. Okay. I thought the center of these flowers, this could be dangerous. Let me see how it'll look. I could do like, I don't know that I'd like that. See the detail? Oop. The center of the flowers has that detail. I thought about adding white pen over that to make those stand out, but I don't think I'm going to like that. I think that'll be too much. So instead, let's see what this would look. I'm going to use my Jelly Roll glitter pen and just put like, I'll show you once I'm done. I'm just kind of following the lines and dots that come out of the center of the flower, just to kind of make it stand out a little bit, but not be too distracting. And I'm doing it very quickly, so I'm not really doing a good job, but you'll see it's fine. And I'll do this on a few, but this will give it a little bit of sparkle and make the center of the flower stand out a bit more. So I'll do it a little bit over on this one too, just to have some sparkle somewhere else. Yeah, there we go. Good enough. So I'll show you the sparkle coming out from the center. So do you see the sparkle that's on that now? I wish you could see it in real light. Woo, there we go. Okay. Where do you write the message on the card? I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to close all this up. Okay, so it tucks closed like this. Then you open it and the message goes on here. And because we did those fold lines, see how it kind of makes, when you open the card, it makes the note card kind of stick out. So there's where you write your personal message in here. And when it stands on display, you don't have to see the personal message because we put a note card on the inside. If you wanted to, instead here it could just be a panel with your personal message and then it stands up. But by putting these two score lines between the folds on the card, it makes it kind of, when you open the card, it kind of sticks out at you. Okay? So this is how it will close. It tucks under there. All right? And then you open it up and there is your card. Now you could add like a floral image here. You could add some interest to the inside. I decided to leave it plain with just that in the inside. But again, if you don't like the idea of a note card on the inside, all you have to do is put a panel here where you write your message. Okay? That's it. That's that card. And I'm going to play with another idea, but I wanted to share that one. Lots of details going on here. Lots of texture. Okay? And this is something you can do with a variety of cards. If you don't want a partial die cut edge here, you could use a border die, or you could do like an arch die, like a curve die. You could trace something, but the partial die cutting of a large image works really well. And if you wanted to, you could cut a little bit off the top and the bottom so there's not this little edge here of the flap sticking out, but I think it works out okay. I need some more glue under here. Okay. Somebody asked the overall size here. I'll go through it again here. So the overall size from the tip here, from end to end, is about 10.5. And we have a score line at 3 inches. We have a score line at, where did my paper go? Here we go. At 3 inches, 4.5, 5 3/4, 7 1/4. And I ended up cutting this to be about 10.5. Okay, so you can screenshot that if you want. Yeah, look at how much money I'm saving. Yeah. Yeah. I was at Paper Source this weekend with Kathy and Lila and her friend, and somebody was there saying how expensive the greeting cards were. And I'm like, funny, I kind of make them greeting cards for a living. She's like, oh, that's great. And I said, I assure you, these greeting cards are cheaper than what it takes for me to make one. And she's like, really? Yeah. I assure you. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, you like the purple? That glacier color, glacier iris, is really pretty. And it's not like your normal purple. I mean, most of my purples, I'll just grab a piece here. Most of my purples are a pinkier purple, see? Than that glacier iris. I bet that glacier iris goes really well with Simon Says Stamp Heather. Oh yeah, see, those go well together. This is Altenew Glacier Iris. This is Simon Says Stamp Heather. Okay, so there we go. There's that card. Yeah, for reals, I know. But see, it's also therapy for us. So, you know, there's some good to it too. Okay, next up, I'm using another bundle. If I can find all the pieces for it. This is called Whispers in the Canopy. Let me see what's included so I make sure I show it all to you. Whispers in the Canopy. I had mentioned in my live, one of the other things I really like about the bundles that Altenew has is they've been really good about lately coming out with bundles that have different elements in it. So you can pick and choose and get different looks. And this is a good example. So let me show you. This is Whispers in the Canopy. There is a stamp set. Look at that large image. That's huge. It could be used on 5x7. Beautiful sentiments, and there is an add-on die set that will cut those out. And then these little ones like Wishing You a Sky Full of Joy, Kindness is Always in Season, I Cherish Our Friendships, You Are Amazing. Then there is an embossing folder and stencil set. Let me find it. Here we go. There's an embossing folder and stencil set. And let me show you what this creates because it's beautiful and it's very different than the stamp set. So they can be used together or separately. Let me see if this is in here. No, it doesn't have it. Here, I'll show you. See right here? See that little image? The stencils and embossing folder creates this full card panel. Look at that detail in it. Okay, so you get that too. There's lots of samples on the website. Again, this is Whispers in the Canopy. So you can see that the style of this is a little bit different than this. So you get different things in it. Then there is this die set in the bundle, and it creates 2 different birdhouses, 2 different birds, and some branches. And these are keyhole designs. So you can use all of this together or separately. So instead of using the stencils and embossing folder, which go together, I thought I'd use the stamp set and the die cuts. And we're gonna wing it. So this is Whispers in the Canopy. I did some die cutting ahead of time. And I chose what a lot of folks like to call a more masculine color palette. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. We have some new colors. So we have, let me see what this is called. I can't remember. It's something Glade. Was it Glade? Misty Sage. Oh, it's Misty Sage. So I used Misty Sage, which is a new color. Then I used Moss, which is an older color. But I thought those two went well together. I need a color in between. I'm going to make that, okay? Then for the blues. Uh-oh, here we go. The blues. I really like these blues. They're like a grayish blue, like a smoky blue. We have Winter Lake, and then the darker is Arctic Mountain. Winter Lake and Arctic Mountain. Ooh, and this is Moon Rock. This gray here is Moon Rock. I could use the new Industrial Diamond with instead. Moon Rock's a little more brown. I'm going to go with Moon Rock. So those are the colors I chose. Now, I did some die cutting off screen. so I'd be ready. So I die cut all the pieces to create this birdhouse up at the top, okay? And I have those pieces right here. So first of all, these pieces will layer together. It's keyhole. I'll show you how it goes together. They'll layer together, but I want this middle layer to be in between the light and the dark. So I'm going to ink it up because why not? But I need to find the color of ink. Since this is Misty Sage cardstock, I'll use the same Misty Sage ink on top of it to make it a bit darker. Let's see if that works out well for me. If you can't find the exact color that you want for something, create your own by using inks. So Misty Sage, let me ink over this. Yeah, I could go direct to paper, but here we go. So I'm putting a good amount of Misty Sage on here because I know it's going to lighten, right? Because the inks kind of dry and absorb. And most of this is going to get covered, so I don't really care if it's kind of splotchy. So now I have like an in-between color, all right? And again, it will soften. So it's going to go in between. So let's do that. I'm going to make this soften by heat setting it. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Mercer X. Yeah, somebody said their husband says it only costs $35 to make a free card. Okay, so now you can see I have like the 3 shades. So now I will glue this together. Where did my glue go? Dang it. I swear I lose everything in here. Okay, let's try again. So see how there is a triangle? I'll do it over the white. See how there's a triangle hole? There's a triangle hole on this one. So I know if I line up those triangle holes, I'm layering it just right. And you can also follow the instructions, but I find you don't need to. So see how I'm lining up those triangle holes and it lines up perfectly. Then this one goes right on top and it covers up that triangle hole so nobody knows you ever had it. So I'll put glue over this and line that up. It just fits perfectly. So we have our birdhouse forming. Next we have the roof. And if you look at the roof, let me put a magnet over that. If you look at the roof, there are 3 keyholes on it. You have a T shape, an arrow, and a keyhole. So I know how to layer up the other die cuts on top, but I need some of these to be darker. I think I'll make this darker. So I will use Moonrock ink. This is Moonrock cardstock, and I want it to be a bit darker. So I have 2 shades of gray that way. So I have Moonrock cardstock here, and I'll use Moonrock ink on top. Does this make sense what I'm doing? I'm putting darker color on top of my cardstock so that I have 2 shades. So there is the Moonrock with the Moonrock ink, and that will again lighten. Let me go ahead and heat set it so you can see what it'll be like. The keyholes are great. Okay, so now you see I have 2 shades of the gray. This is the original Moonrock cardstock, and then this is the darker that I inked with the ink. So now I just follow this along. Keyhole first, because you can look at the instructions. I'll put ink around the keyhole, and then I have this die cut that has a keyhole on it. Okay, so if I line up the keyhole hole here with this keyhole hole, it will go on perfectly. So you can see how I'm lining it up there. So if you look here, you can see the keyhole shape right there goes all the way through the 2 layers because it lines up. So the next shape right here is the arrow. So I take my arrow piece, and I think I want this to be darker too, because I'm obsessed. So let's do a little bit of darker on this. So we have like alternating light and dark. I think I'll do that. Heat set that a bit. The reason I'm heat setting it is not only so you can see the color that it'll end up being when it's dry, But I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you have really heavily inked cardstock, glue doesn't want to stick to it because it's wet. Okay, so this has an arrow hole. I'll take the arrow hole here and notice when I do that, look at, it covers up the last hole. So this is lined up right there and it covers up the last hole. Okay, so now there's a T hole. Put a T, glue around the T, take my T shape. These also have an engraved number on it so you know what order, but honestly, I'm finding you don't even have to worry about that. Okay. Then the last one is just plain. So this I need to ink up too. Yeah, the keyhole system is brilliant. If you go to the Altenew website, remember I have that special discount code. If you go to the Altenew website, they will have, in search on keyhole, you'll see all the different options. This one will just go right at the top and cover up that last hole. So there we go. So there is the roof with the like the shutters, I guess you would call it, on there. Then there is this little V shape that goes right along the edge just for a little decorative. And I cut this from that darker moss color. I will hold it all up here in a moment, but this goes right along the inside edge, giving just a little decorative finish because Altenew has lots of details to theirs. This one is kind of shifted. Hang on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there is our roof. See the detail in it? Shingles, that's what it's called, shingles. So now this gets glued on top of this. So I go up here, down here. It's gonna go all over that. And this just lines up perfectly. Now we have this little green birdhouse. Look at the detail of that. Yeah, they're called shingles. Whatever. Shingles, shingles, shingles. Okay, so there is my birdhouse. Then from the blues, I wanted a bird. But I'm gonna put the birdhouse like down here. And I want the bird flying towards it. I like this bird, but he's flying that way, which I could do. I could put him here and flying that way. I think I might, no, I'm gonna go with that. If you wanted, I think I'm gonna go with it flying away. That's fine. If you wanted it flying towards it, you just assemble them upside down, which I could do. Okay, if you wanted the bird to fly towards the birdhouse, I think I'm gonna make it go away from it. If you wanted it to go towards the birdhouse, you would just assemble your die cuts upside down. And that's what I wanted to show you, is you can assemble them upside. I'm gonna do it that way so you can see. Bear with me. So the bird flies away from the birdhouse, but I wanna make them fly towards the birdhouse. So I am going to glue my die cuts upside down. So I will take all of my die cuts and lay them into my die cutting plates. These are all the die cuts that make the bird. And I'm just laying them in there and running them through the die cut machine to squish them flat. Because if you've ever die cut cardstock, you know how the back side has the rough edge? By doing this, where I just put it in there without anything, it flattens that back edge and makes it look nice from the back side of the die cut. Okay, hoping that makes sense. So I have the back of the die cut facing up towards the camera. There's a little T there, and this one is the T that goes on top. But again, I want it to be a little bit darker than the color of cardstock that I used. I need that in-between color. So let me see. Hold please. I don't know if I have that color. I think I'll just take, I'm gonna take Winter Lake and use Winter Lake on it, just to make it a little bit darker. So I have a dark and a light already, and I'll come up with that medium color too. see. So Winter Lake, yeah, I'll do that. So this will end up being like a medium shade. And you'll see it in just a moment. So if you can't find 3 shades of cardstock, just ink one. Now this one looks a little light, so I'm gonna add some to it too. So there are my 3 shades of cardstock. Okay, so I've got my bird coming down. I'll do it on the white. There's a T-hole right there and a T-hole on my die cut. So I'll just put glue around that T-hole. And I notice this goes up to the head too, so I'll put a little bit up there. And I'll line up those T's. Oh, hold on, my head's got to get in the way to get it lined up. So see how it's adding the interest. So notice I am doing it upside down. So what you're looking at, yeah, you could put Versamark on it to make it slightly darker too. But what you're looking at is the back of the die cuts, but I don't think anybody will ever know. And that way it's going in the direction that I want because I have issues. So this one goes upside down again on top of that to cover up that hole. Then there is this detail. I'm looking at the picture, but you could also follow in the back, but I'm just looking at the picture. There's one right here. So make sure you've got the back of the die cut. Make sure I'm doing it right. Yep, it goes right there. And then this goes, oh, this was to help you line up. It's a middle layer, but we don't need it. There's a little layer for the tail. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Little layer for the tail here. And then I'll show you everything. This gets glued down here. Okay, so now we have our bird, and it's going backwards from the picture. Okay, there's my little layered bird. Okay, and I think he looks pretty good. Now, in the die set, you can die cut the little feet and the eyes. I think I'm going to use the feet. Actually, I think I'm going to skip the feet and the eyes, and instead, when I'm done, I'll use a black marker to draw them in because they're teeny, teeny, weeny. I'll probably use a black marker for the beak and a little black bobble for the eyes, and I'm just going to skip the feet. See, there's little feet and eyes. I'm going to skip those for now. So now I have my card. I have my birdhouse and my bird flying to it. Now I need a background. If you remember, this is the Whispers and Canopy. It comes with this die set too. I thought this would be great for a tone-on-tone background. So I did one here. Let me see if that works. I don't know if I have my, yeah. This is from Christina Werner's Thin Frame Dies. It's a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch thin frame. And I like it because you can kind of choose the area you want to cut out. Let me cut this and choose, and I'll tell you what I did. This background is that I stamped on. That's the new Peachy Glow color, which is a nice neutral that's not too yellow, not too dull, I guess you would say. And I stamped with the Peachy Glow ink. So this die actually cuts a thin frame too, but I'm not going to use the thin frame. I'll just put this on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card base. So that's what I thought about doing here. I thought that would be nice, kind of those neutrals going together, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of, yeah, the tone-on-tone's pretty, but I want to step it up. I need some texture on here. I know what I'll do. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hold, please. Mike, where'd it go? Did you eat it? I just used it on my first card. Where's my sentiment embossing folder? The gremlins are at it again. I don't know where I put it. I want that sentiment embossing folder. Oh, by the way, if you like the sentiment embossing folder, here's one they just came out with. It's mini sentiments. It's a small 3D embossing folder, and you can cut out the different sentiments on it too. So that's another thing that you could use, but I really want that sentiment embossing folder. Here it is, found it. I think I'm going to do the sentiment embossing folder on top of this stamping. So this is Peachy Glow cardstock with Peachy Glow stamping on it. I'm going to put this inside of my embossing folder. I know I'm probably making people freak out, but that's okay. So like that. Let me run that through. I'm a big fan of mixing textures together. Now here's the thing. I wouldn't do a floral stamped image like this or like a foliage stamped image like this and then also use a different foliage embossing folder on it. Instead, you want to mix and match. So I use like a foliage stamp and a text, like a graphic looking embossing folder. So you could do dots here, you could do like a repeating pattern, but look at that. Isn't that cool how it just adds interest between the two? And that, I feel like it steps up quite a bit. There we go. That helps me. It adds something to it. But you know what else? I'm still not done. Hold on. I want a dark matte around that too. Maybe I don't want white. Maybe I just want the dark. Oh, I need a sentiment though too. Maybe I want both. Dark matte and a white matte. Or just the dark. I'm not sure yet. I like that dark around it, but I'm not done. Let me think. I need a sentiment, but I made a bunch, so let's look at those. Because why not? So, hello friend might be nice on here. So you could have like this and the bird coming in like that. I do plan to make this hang. Oh, by the way, in this die set, there's a branch and a little loopy-doopy die. See, there's a little loopy-doopy die and a branch and some leaves, which you could put across the top. But I don't think I want to add that. I think I'm just going to put a string. Oh, I could put it on a branch. I was going to put a string coming down, but I could die cut a branch and have it like sitting on a branch. And then the bird flying to it. I don't know. Is the folder 3D? Yes, those are 3D embossing folders. So hold on. Let me just think. I love that blue in there. The blue on the bird. Maybe it all needs to be closer. Hold on. I think I want it like that with the string. I'm going with the string. You can have a branch up there, by all means. Those of you who are pro branch, go for it. I'm going to put a string coming down from the top. Just bear with me. Loopy-doopy is a very technical term. Just so you know. Okay, I'm going to cut this down. Let's see. I'm going to cut it so there is a little dark and a little light trim. Okay, almost done. Did you omit the perch on purpose? Oh, I could put the perch on there. There is a perch in there. I could add it back in. Not too late. So put this with a teeny tiny moon rock mat. And I'll trim the excess down. I think the string's going to work too. I think I might have cut that too close, but whatever. That's not close enough. Okay. Yeah. So there's a bit of a white trim around the edge. Just a teeny bit, but I need a note card. That's not a note card. Okay, so I have a note card here. This will get glued onto a card base, like that. I'll have to trim a little bit off the bottom here because it's not cut right. Team string, thank you. Thank you for being team string. Now, normally I would get jute for this. I think jute would be really nice coming in. Oh, thank you might look better than hello, friend. Let me look. Jennifer's going to over. Hugs would also look good. No, I think hello, friend. I like the loopiness of the hello, friend. Okay, so I think I'll do hello, friend. And listen, here's the thing. If you don't like the choices I make, it's okay. It's okay. You can always, we all have different likes and dislikes. So you could definitely use that branch. Honestly, I don't have time to use the branch. You could have like a branch coming in down here and then like branches up here and have it hanging from the branch up there. I don't have time to create the branch, and I had this vision of a hanging string. So I need jute, but I don't know where my jute is. It's up high. I might die doing this. Hang on. Oh my gosh, I'm too old for this. There it is. Okay. I've got my messy container here. Here we go. This is like, oh no, that's not the color I want. I have a few options. I think this is the best. What is all this stuff? I think some random stuff got thrown in here too. I think I'll use the jute. Ooh. I think this will be good. It'll add to that, like all the neutrals I'm using. So that's what I'll do. Okay, I have a giant roll. This is May Arts. I'm not gonna die. Sometimes I might. Okay, so I think I like them all kind of nestled together. Maybe like that. And him coming in this way. All right, this is, yeah, I'm going with that. This is where Jennifer overthinks. That white stands out a bit much now. I could have done it on that Peachy Glow cardstock, so blend more, but because I'm going to put it on the white background, then it pops good. See, I don't like that white there without the white out here. See, like if I just put it on the dark card base, it would be too much. Okay, let me get some foam tape. Okay. Altenew has two thicknesses of foam tape. One is thicker than the other. I think I'm opting for the thinner in this case. I think it's like 1/16 of an inch thick. You could go thicker if you prefer that. It's totally up to you. Let's put, oh, got that too big. So I'm putting foam tape on the back of all these. Now, these are layered die cuts. So I'm okay not covering the back entirely. I don't feel like it'll get squished too much in the mail because it's layered die cut, so they're thick and they're strong. This embossing folder here is called Raised Sentiments 3D embossing folder. But the one that's on sale that I like that's similar is Ways to Say Thank You. And I think I would probably use that instead. But again, mine is missing an action from the Black Friday craziness. Ask me how much I've put away. Yeah, that's how much. Not much at all. Okay, so there we go. It's going to be like nestled together like that. Like that. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put Hello Friend down. He's going right there, whether he likes it or not. That's where he's going. And then this one, at the top, I want to tape the end of my string. Ways to say thank you. The Ways to Say Thank You embossing folder is on sale right now. So I wanted to let you know that because that one's like a very popular one that normally doesn't go on sale. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Okay, so I used just a piece of Scotch tape on the back. I've been using Scotch tape a lot lately in crafting. But it just tapes the end of the string at the back of my birdhouse. I could add the loopy-doopy die, but I'm skipping it. So it's going to go like right there, and then the bird will come in. So the string is coming out of the top of my birdhouse. There we go, hanging right there. I'm going with it, okay? Now I will flip this over. Make sure it's coming out of the top of my birdhouse and tape it over on the back side of this. Put a little DNA on your card. Okay, there we go. So see how it's coming out of the top? Trim that off. Now we can add this to our card base. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white. So I cut these, that moon rock card base really close. So there's just, I'm gonna have to cut a little bit off the bottom. There's just a bit of moon rock and a bit of white. See how tiny those mats are? I don't know. I probably could have gone a little bit bigger with the mats, but this is what we got. See that? Okay, now our birdie wordy. I think I'll have them right there. I know he still doesn't have a beak or eyes, but I'll add them in just a moment. I'm gonna have him come in right there. Actually, not yet. Hold please. I think it would be really fun to do a bow at the top of our birdhouse. This may be too much, let's see. So I'm just doing a freestanding bow here. Do you know what Lila's doing? Mike?
She's eating something.
Oh, probably ice cream. I'm not there. Okay. This is really hairy jute. I like the other kind of jute better, but I can't find it. Okay. So I'm making this little bow, and I thought a little bow, yeah, little bow there. So let's cut a little bow. Now, when I do a little bow, I like to have my tweezers ready. Some self-closing tweezers. I put a little drop of glue at the top of my birdhouse, put the jute bow into that glue, and then take my self-closing tweezers and clamp it while it dries. Then we can come in with this. Let's figure this out. Then this can kind of, here I come. Here I come. Okay. I'm going to use a gold. This is the Altenew Gold Permanent Pen to make his little beaky gold. It's teeny tiny. Nobody's going to really see it. There is a little die cut I could use. Maybe I should add the die cut because his beak is really small. Let me see. Oh, that's really tiny. I'll do it. Okay. I'm cutting from gold cardstock. But see how I feel like this white is okay now that there's that white trim on it. Yeah, I have hairy, my jute's hairy. Okay, so these guys are teeny weeny. Speaking of teeny weeny, this weekend when I was at Kathy's, Kathy has a pool and it was open still, but cold. And my daughter and her friend decided that they wanted to do a cold plunge in that pool, but they didn't have bathing suits. So we went to the only store that Kathy knew of that would have bathing suits in the winter. And we looked at bathing suits for them. Teeny weeny. What's the deal with bikinis being so tiny? Like, who wants all of that, like, out? We had the hardest time. So they tried on lots of bathing suits in 2 different dressing rooms. And they kept showing them to Kathy and I, laughing because they knew there was no way, first of all, that I'd let them buy half of them, or that they would want to be out and about. It just wasn't, I mean, it was, we're talking, oh, this needs to be double-sided. I'll just put it this way. We're talking the teeniest of bikinis. Like, it was unbelievable. So, they were trying on, they each were trying them on. They would show us some of them. We would laugh because they weren't going to get them. But in the end, they said, okay, I've got the one that I picked out, they each picked out that was like the best of all of them. And they came out with the exact same suit on. It was funny. And while doing that, Kathy and I were discussing which would be worse, trying on the bikinis or the cold plunge. And we decided both were pretty bad, and we did neither. That's the moral of the story. So when I was talking about teeny weeny, that's what I was thinking about. I mean, one wrong move and those bathing suits would be just gone. They weren't really much there to begin with. Okay, I'm trying to get a teeny weeny little eye to add to my bird. I could have used a die cut, but these little teeny weeny eyes are cute. No, I'm telling you, they're even ittier bittier. Like the bums are so tiny. It's like, really, come on. Come on. Now, I lived in Italy when I was younger, so I'm used to people who are confident in their bathing suits. But man, these, no. Oh, somebody wanted the perch on there. I could put the perch on there. There's a perch die, but I'm going to leave it off for now because I'm out of time. Yeah, one piece. Well, I'll wear bikinis sometimes, but not like those. Okay, so there's my little bird. There's a little glue on his eye, but look how that bird is. Now, the bird's pretty dark, so you can't see the beak and the eye very well. But in real life, you can, or you could go lighter with the layers. All right, so you got the stamping and embossing folder on the background, which is really fun. You got your birdhouse. You could add the little perch. See, there's a little perch you could have sticking out. And then the Hello Friend, that's from the Sweet Bouquet, which is on sale. Just something different. Just something different. And that is the Whispers in the Canopy set. Is Mike uncomfortable listening to me talk about bikinis? He zones me out, let's be clear.
Do what?
Huh? See, he said do what? He zoned me out. I do have giveaways. So leave a comment in the chat if you haven't already. Mike's going to pick people from the chat to win. We have 2 giveaways tonight, and I'll show you them in a moment. But just a reminder that if you look in the YouTube description below, there is information on ways you can save. You can save, 10% off at 10% off. You can get 10% off at Altenew with orders of $69 or more, and you get free US shipping, okay? All of that information, you got to use the link and the code that's in the description below, and that lasts through the 12th. And remember, they have products on sale, and some of them that I used today are on sale, and you can find those in the YouTube description also. So 2 cards. We have this fun kind of, the way it opens, it just pops out at you, and you can write your personal message in there, and then it just hooks to close. Just a different way to make a card. And remember, you could do it this way and have it hook the other way. And then this one we just did, this was a bird that was flying west, and we changed him to fly east by using the die cuts upside down. And the background, we used an embossing folder and stamping together. And then we also came up with different shades of cardstock colors by inking some of them. All right. Okay, so that's what we have for today. And remember that the piped floral and lace embossing folder is now, that I used on my Black Friday Live, is now available for everybody. And there are examples on the Altenew website. And you can also check out my Black Friday Live to see the techniques. I showed lots of techniques with this folder. Okay, so we have 2 giveaways. One is I'm personally giving away a $25 gift card to Altenew. And the winner, if you email me right away, will get you the gift card right away so you can do some shopping if you want to. And then the other giveaway, Mike, do you have it?
Yeah.
This is from a crafty friend. Her name is Nancy Rose. Nancy Rose is a friend here and a lot of the lives. She had an extra Stamptember set. This is the Dare to Be Artsy Stamptember stamp and die set. It's been used once, but if you know about Stamptember, once they're gone for good. So she had this extra and wanted to share it with somebody. So she sent it to me so I can do it as a giveaway. So one winner will get the $25 to Altenew. The other winner will get this Stamptember exclusive from Dare to Be Artsy and Simon Says Stamp. Do you have winners?
Yes, I do.
The $25 gift card winner for Altenew is?
Maria Aguila, A-G-U-I-L-A.
Maria Aguila. Maria, if you email me through my website, we'll get you your gift card right away. And the second winner of wins this Dare to Be Artsy Stamptember collab that is no longer available. And who is that?
Michelle Gord.
Michelle Gord. So Michelle, if you email me through my website, give us your address, we'll get these sent to you. By the way, if you win a gift card that we send you through the email, if you still want a card from me, because I put a card in with all the giveaways, if you still want a card from me, just say so in the email. So who was the first winner, Maria? Maria, if you want a card also, give us your address also, and we'll send you a card.
I pinned them.
Mike pinned the names of the winners. So there we go.
No, I'm terrible with pronunciation, so sorry.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I feel like I've got my groove back a little bit. Again, I will have another live on Friday at 11 a.m. and I will put more information out about that. If you're not in my Facebook group, it's called Share Handmade Kindness. I encourage you to go there because I always let people know about my lives there so you can be the first to know about everything. You can also sign up on my website to get texts. So you just sign up on the page where you sign up for the newsletter. If you scroll down a bit, you can sign up for texts. And I always text half hour before I go live, unless it's super early in the morning. So that will be Friday at 11 a.m. I'm not making something, but I have a huge announcement, a big fun announcement. And I will have a new video on Friday also. I think that's it. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will see you soon in another video. Take care.